Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Film Blurs. Episode 32, the final episode of 2021. My name is Brandon Norwood, aka Hero Protagonist, aka the true father of Joe's kids, aka the Glizzy King. When you see a grown man eating a glizzy, what do you say? Hey, you! AKA
The Lethal Protector.
AKA Ruff McGruff. Still pulling rip and runs. Abolished Dare. AKA Poppy Chulo. AKA B Wood the Magnificent. And I'm joined here today, as always, by
Jeff Stewart. How. Merry fucking Christmas. I am known as Uncle Jeffrey. I am known as He Who Remains. I am known as Revengeman Button. Also known as DJ To Be Determined. I'm going to turn myself into a DJ now. AKA your mom's favorite Santa Claus.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Denis has announced that as soon as he's done with Dune Part 2 and before he moves on to Dune Messiah, he will be doing Rendezvous with Rama. It is a famous sci-fi novel by Arthur C. Clarke. Morgan Freeman has had the rights for it for like over 30 years, and him and Fincher tried for 20 years to get this shit made. And now it seems it's going to be a Denis Villeneuve film, and at this point, I believe it. Like, this dude has pulled off the unimaginable. He pulled off a Blade Runner sequel that's actually better than the original, and he adapted the first half of an unadaptable book, which to somebody who knew nothing about the book, it's amazing.
I mean, he's going to be turned into the go-to guy to make hard sci-fi and also to bring to life books that other people said were, unfilmable or whatever like that. So I'm excited for this. I mean, this is in his wheelhouse. This is on brand for him. I mean, if you look at The Arrival is a riveting sci-fi movie about fucking language.
Oh yeah, that was based on a short story that they said was unadaptable.
Right? So, I mean, give this guy all the sci-fi money. Now, does Morgan Freeman still own the rights to this shit?
I don't think so. I think the rights lapsed, and I don't know, maybe he might be a producer on this shit, but he don't own the rights.
Well. But it's good to know that Mr. Morgan Freeman loves sci-fi as much as the rest of us.
So if you have any other hard-to-adapt novels, such as Catcher in the Rye, or most of Thomas Pynchon's novels, or who's that dude who, who's that dude that movie's based off of, The End of the Road? Hold on, I'm going to look that up. Because that dude has written some novels that have been unadaptable.
I mean, I would like to see him take another crack at The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I feel like that's easily manageable by somebody.
I don't know. That last one was kind of bullshit. So.
Here we go. David Foster Wallace.
Oh wow! I mean,
he should adapt some books by David Foster Wallace, starting with Infinite Jest, a novel that cannot be adapted to the screen. I don't care how hard anybody tries, but you know what? Let Denis try it, because if anybody can pull it off, it could be him.
You threw down the gauntlet.
So Denis, I called you out. Adapt Infinite Jest if you dare.
I wish I could do a French accent, and then I would respond as Denis. But yeah, I can't.
All right, well, moving on to our last bit of news. Obviously, y'all motherfuckers saw Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, goddamn.
Everybody saw that shit.
Second biggest opening domestically of all time. $260 million. That's fucking insane.
Brandon sent me a tweet to an article about how theaters are calling up motherfuckers with Nightmare Alley tickets and saying, "Hey, would you like to refund that ticket so we can have more room for Spider-Man?" Which is crazy to me. That's ballsy.
Yeah, some theaters straight up didn't even give that courtesy. They just refunded the ticket and said, "Hey, your show's been canceled."
Yeah. So I wonder how the King's Man is going to fare.
God damn. We are in the middle of a fucking raging pandemic. The Omicron is rearing its head, and y'all motherfuckers made the second biggest opening of all time. That's crazy. It beat Avengers Infinity War. It is right below Avengers Endgame. I get it though, because this is one of the most ambitious movies I've ever seen to pull off what they pulled off. Because now we're gonna get into spoilers, since all you motherfuckers saw it. It seems like, and if you haven't seen it, I guess just fast forward to what have you watched lately. Yeah, this was ambitious, and I can't believe they pulled it off. They got all the villains, all the Spider-Men in one fucking movie, and it served the story rather than it being fan service.
Right. It seemed fucking organic, like it didn't feel like fan service. It didn't feel shoehorned in. It felt natural. And like we said in our last review, this feels like the true origin of this Spider-Man. This movie right here.
I get why Tom Holland was calling this Spider-Man Endgame, just because of the scope and ambition this movie pulls off, but also because the portals, like at the end of Avengers, when those portals open up, people cheered. I saw this again in IMAX with my brother over the weekend, and as soon as that portal opened and Andrew Garfield started running, the whole theater erupted into applause, and then they lost their minds once he pulled off the mask.
Right. Yep. I mean, we all knew it was coming, but just to see, like, to experience it. That's the thing. Like, it's just to experience it, and like it's like I say, it's movies are fucking magic.
Yeah, because when Daredevil popped up, I mean, the audience lost their mind when we went to the press screening, but especially seeing it with a general audience, holy shit. I thought motherfuckers were gonna blow up the theater.
When he caught that brick and he says, like, "I'm just a really good lawyer." That fucking I cannot wait for the Daredevil movie that's going to be coming soon. Hasn't been announced, but it's fucking happening.
And I should have seen this coming, because once Echo had her own TV show announced, I was like, oh, well, duh. I should have seen that coming. And for those of you who have caught up, episode 5 of Hawkeye has revealed a big character is in the MCU. Kingpin is the one pulling the strings.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The whole time. It was him the whole time. And they make reference to the Statue of Liberty in this new episode of Hawkeye. So lots of crossover between No Way Home and Hawkeye right now.
Right. This is a spoiler that was a spoiler for me, but I don't really give that fucking care. The fact that D'Onofrio, I got to catch up on Hawkeye. The fact that D'Onofrio's in it, because I mean, honestly, D'Onofrio's Kingpin is one of the best things to come out of those Netflix Marvel shows.
Yeah, Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is as close to the comic as you're gonna get. Like, that shit is comics accurate through and through. Episode 5 of Hawkeye, because we're coming up on episode 6, and episode 6 is the finale this Wednesday. Episode 5 even made Black Widow better. Like, it starts off with a scene that ties together Black Widow and Avengers Endgame. And that whole scene is so good. They played that first, then went to previously on Hawkeye. That's how good that shit was.
Here's the thing. I'm glad that episode 5 is not reticotting, but like in hindsight making things better for these other lackluster movies. But I do hate the fact that we're just not making good movies, and that we got to make these connections from these other movies to be able to appreciate the previous, entity or whatever entry. Just make a fucking good movie.
I can forgive that just because Spider-Man No Way Home was so good. It reminds me why I love Marvel. Marvel put out something to redeem
This whole entire fucking year.
Shang-Chi. Like, put out something to redeem Shang-Chi, because Shang-Chi is it's boring. It's a boring ass movie.
I had an argument on set this week, and someone tried to give me the virtues of Shang-Chi, and I shut him down real quick with that shit, because it's not a good movie. It's not even fun. It's not even fun.
Now that people have been doing their MCU film rankings, not including the TV shows, just the films. And it's weird to me to see Shang-Chi on everybody's list as number 2 as best of the year. Like, obviously, No Way Home's the best one. But then to see Shang-Chi at number 2, I'm like, yo, really? Really? Like, people put Eternals as number 4? No, Eternals is 2.
Yeah, I will give Eternals 2. Eternals needed to be a TV show, and I will keep saying that. But out of the cinematic universe this year, it ranks higher than Black Widow and fucking Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, that's Shang-Chi is like number 4, bro. That is the worst.
That's 4.
Yeah. Like, Black Widow is more rewatchable and more entertaining, and at least has more character development than anything in fucking Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi feels like someone was like, all right, well, we got the Negroes on board with Black Panther. All right, let's do the same thing with the Yellow Man.
Yeah.
But it feels like half-assed and lackluster. And you've said this, and I've said this. There's no fucking character arc. There's no fucking growth.
Yeah, everybody, I could say this, at least in these other Marvel films this year, everybody's had an arc. Every single character went through something. Nothing happens with Shang-Chi. The main character of the movie has no growth. You don't even get to know the motherfucker, other than he's really good at karate.
Right. And he gets the rings. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But all right, cool. Yeah, no, his sister has a bigger arc than he does.
Yes. Yeah. But I will say, now that I got to see it again this past weekend, and I got to see that trailer, that was a full fucking trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Pretty much.
A full fucking trailer. It's dope, and it's going to bring in What If. Like, that was the big reveal at the end of the trailer, is when Mordo goes, yo, the biggest threat to the multiverse is you. And then you see evil Doctor Strange from the What If. So they're bringing in What If into these live action movies. So look, again, people, everything's canon now.
But here's the thing. The evil Doctor Strange from What If actually turns out to be a good guy at the end of What If. So I don't know how they're going to make this work.
We'll see. I got faith in them. This movie looks surreal, looks trippy. I will probably getting just as fucked up as I did to see No Way Home Saturday as I am going to see this new one. I'm rooting for you, Raimi. I'm rooting for you. Real quick, why'd they give Mordo dreads? Like, he was better off having a nice fade. Like, don't do that to Chiwetel Ejiofor. Don't give him fucking dreads. Don't do that to that dude. Chiwetel, you don't deserve that. Goddamn white people.
What you watching?
What you watching? I said, what you watching? What you watching?
What are you watching?
Oh, all right. Here we go. Like I said, well, I don't know if I've mentioned it. I've been on set for the last week, so I haven't really got a chance to watch much, but the stuff I have watched, uh, it's been pretty interesting. So I was able to watch the 6-part, I guess, series on Hulu called Creamery. All right. It's a New Zealand show about a society where all of the men have caught this horrible virus and they've died. And 8 years later, society has been rebuilt, just with women, and it's about these 3 women who run a dairy farm who discover the last man on Earth, right? And it's their spiraling adventures trying to like hide him and or trying to either uncover a deeper mystery, use him as breeding stock, and or just like kind of lusting after him. Um, it's really, really dark and really, really funny. Uh, yeah, the biggest part takeaway from it is that it doesn't pull any punches when it comes to the idea of a woman-led society. Because whenever this conversation comes up, it's like, oh, if women ran society, X, Y, and Z, everything would be better. This show, which is written, produced, directed by women, puts the idea out there that people in general are assholes, and if you give them power, they will take advantage of that power. Doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman, they'll just be assholes in different ways. Like, for example, the government has been rebuilt, and the central government is called wellness, right? Wellness is if, like, Goop and the Mean Girls started a fucking system of government, and it's absolutely kind of hilarious, but also terrifying. So yeah, that's all. I don't want to ruin any of the surprises or anything like that. But like I said, it gets real dark, real fast, but it still keeps its hilarious edge to it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I love the fact that just like all of these shows from like either Britain or New Zealand or Australia, they keep it fucking short and simple. 6-episode seasons and you're out. Instead of this long, protracted, drawn out bullshit. So, Creamery on Hulu, like if they made Y the Last Man a comedy. We saw, Matrix, the new Matrix a couple of weeks ago. We're going to talk about that in our main review. But while we were in the theater waiting, we kind of started going over all of the Wachowskis' previous movies, and the movie Jupiter Ascending came up in conversation, which I have only seen once. I saw it once in theaters when it first came out, and I did not like it at all when I originally saw it. But I figured, since I've had some time away from it, and I wanted to sort of like give give the Wachowskis another chance, because like most of their shit is bangers, from Bound all the way up to Cloud Atlas, so I decided to give Jupiter Ascending another chance, and it's weird, but I could kind of see where they were going with it, and I think if they had been reined in just a little bit more, and it was a little less saccharine and a little less
Repetitive.
repetitive, yeah, and a little less like Flash Gordon, it would have been an all timer. It would have really like launched that franchise because that's what they were going for. They were trying to make a fucking franchise out
Yeah,
of it.
it was supposed to be a trilogy.
Right. But going back a couple of years and rewatching Jupiter Ascending on HBO Go or HBO Max or whatever the fuck you want to call it, I uh I began to appreciate it. You know, it's not the best thing ever, but it's a fun little fucking flick.
All
Yeah. So
right.
well, I mean, you saw it, right? I mean, we
I
had this
mean, I saw
conversation.
it. I haven't watched it since I went to my press screening. I remember the only thing being impressed by were the score and the 3D. And recently I went into CVS and they had the 3D Blu-ray combo pack on sale for $5. So I picked it up. So over the holidays, I guess that'll be one of my watches is Jupiter
Yeah,
Ascending in 3D. I got a
yeah,
3D TV.
give it a give it a rewatch. Um, Besides that, I rewatched Body of Lies, which is a spy drama taking place in the Middle East,
That's Russell
starring
Crowe and
Leonardo,
Leo, right?
Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott,
Ridley.
and yeah, Ridley. Yep, and it's a tight little fucking thriller. I mean, I'm a sucker for real espionage films. Uh, like, I don't care what anyone says. Uh, I think Spy Game is one of Brad Pitt's best. You know, mid-budget or mid-level uh, action years, and it holds up. Body of Lies really does hold up because I mean we're still in the middle of this fucking shit and we still can't get our shit straight in the Middle East. My only problem with it was some of the casting. You have Mark Strong playing an Arab spy master. You got You got Oscar Isaacs playing uh, an Iraqi. So I mean, they killed the roles. It's just like problematic casting, especially Mark Strong, because I'm not even sure what the fuck Oscar Isaac is. Uh, he's some sort of brown, but
He's Cuban.
he's Cuban. Okay,
He's either Cuban or Guatemalan.
all right. But like, Mark Strong. I mean, that dude's white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. But I mean, he killed the role. He killed the role. But like, being where we are now when it comes to casting and diversity and representation, I was like, ooh, no, not so much. But it's a solid fucking thriller. It's good. So Body of Lies, watch it. Yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, I've been busy living my life and conquering the world, so I haven't had a chance to watch much.
Friday, my first watch Friday was the kids wanted to watch a movie because Friday it's a movie day, and on both HBO Max and Disney Plus, Ron's Gone Wrong is streaming. That was literally just in theaters the same day as Dune, so that tells you how well this fucking movie did. Uh, it's not bad. The robots are cool. It has a nice little message of unplugging and be yourself and be weird and don't get too reliant on technology. But I mean, that's most fucking shit nowadays is like stop being addicted to social media and shit. Stop clout chasing for likes. I need a kids movie to tell me that. But it's episodic almost, even though it has a whole ass story. It's kind of weird how it's structured. But yeah, I mean, if you have HBO Max or Disney Plus, it's something nice to watch. Christmas is coming up this week. Put it on. You're not going to be mad that you watched it. You're not going to remember it. You'll forget about it 5 minutes afterwards. That's all I can say. Like I said in the lobby, I rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home over the weekend, and it is just even better the second time, especially in IMAX. Like just the spectacle of it, seeing it on a huge ass screen and it just takes up that huge ass screen because it's shot in IMAX. This is a very rewarding movie, and I think it is the best Spider-Man because it does pay off 20 years worth of storytelling. Like, it feels like we finally got a definitive ending to Toby's trilogy. We got a nice emotional catharsis for Andrew Garfield, who's rewatching it. His performance, man, he's putting in work. Like, when he admits that he stopped pulling his punches when Gwen died and he's just rageful, like, you see it in his face. Like, homie was happy to play Spider-Man again. It's pretty
Right.
clear homie liked playing Spider-Man, but he did not like the movies he was doing. Which I think that's everybody's consensus. They like him, just not the movies. Yeah, like, I don't know where you go for here for Spider-Man, because I know obviously there's gonna be more. They made too much fucking money. Like, this shit's gonna clear $1 billion by Christmas, which is insane. It's made 600 million worldwide. Like, fucking, yeah, it's gonna clear $1 billion, if not this week, by next week. Yeah, I don't know where you go from here, man. I am glad I'm not making that decision, because this should have been like a end of the last Spider-Man ever live action. All I know is you can't do Peter Parker again. Like, when it's time for Tom Holland to move on and make cameo appearances and shit like that, we can't do Peter Parker again. Like, it's got to be Miles. Like, yeah, no more. Rewatched Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and I was more smacked this time than I was the first time I saw it. And you know what? Maybe it's because the novelty wore off. Maybe because I was just so I don't know. I did not like it this second time, man. Like, I was entertained the first time, and this second time I was like, man, this is just a bad fucking movie. It's just bad. I think I liked it because it was just so batshit insane and weird. And now that once that wears off, and that initial shock of that initial first watch has worn off, and now it's just a bad movie.
I mean, yeah, because I watched it finally a couple of weeks ago, and I never thought it was a good movie, but it was enjoyable because of the weirdness, and I guess the weirdness comes from, oh shit, I can't believe they did that. Now, I guess going back watching the second time is like, oh well, I know what they did, so it's not a surprise, and that's a shame.
Like the only thing that works in this movie's favor is that it's an hour and a half.
But it does.
I remember that line that had me scratching my head the first time, and still has me laughing. Is like when Naomi Harris says to Dan, she goes, "Peeps have tried to kill me before, botched it." I'm like, no fucking crazy ass person's gonna say botched. Fucking smart people don't even say botched. Have a crazy ass bitch say botched.
That's what's got you hung up, is the word botched.
Yo, that shit makes no sense. That coming out of her mouth.
Look, it's the dialogue is shitty in the movie.
Oh yeah,
the writing is horrible.
Yes.
I always come for the homoerotic, odd couple undertones of Venom and whatever is Eddie Brock's relationship. That's what I'm there for. Is like a will they or won't they?
Oh my god! Yeah. Well, I mean, it is truly a movie for 13-year-old boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of the post-credit scene where they yank Venom back out of the MCU, when that happened and I was in that theater, the whole theater just went, oh! I could not stop laughing.
Oh, don't worry, fanboys. You're gonna get a Venom. It's just gonna be a good Venom. I loved it. That's why that movie's so fucking good. It was able to retcon fucking Tom Hardy's weird ass Venom without really fucking trying all that hard. It was just like, boop, there you go.
I mean, if we have to do this, yeah, put Venom in there because I'd rather see him fight Venom than fucking Morbius. Like, I don't want to fucking. I can't believe that we. Oh man, I guess we'll find out, Jeff.
It's gonna find out in January. We'll see some Morbius.
Fuck me. Fuck me.
So
All
I
right.
guess this is the beginning of the Hardyverse.
No, Sony is calling it the Spider-Man shared universe.
All right, whatever. All right, cool.
But Spider-Man's not even in his own fucking shared universe.
Oh, all right. All right. Okay. Couldn't they call it something else?
I still don't understand how we're getting a fucking Kraven the Hunter movie. That dude's nothing without Spider-Man. He's just a crazy big game hunter. You take Spider-Man out the way.
It'll be like a fucking it'll be the Turkish knockoff of a Spider-Man. It's like Arachnid Boy. He's a Kraven the Hunter versus Arachnid Boy.
Oh, brother. Sony.
Ding!
All right. So the next thing I watched was The Red Shoes because I bought the Criterion 4K. If you've never seen this movie, it is a fucking surreal music. I wouldn't even call it a musical, but it is a surreal love story about a ballerina who starts off ignored, but then becomes popular because the composer of this ballet called The Red Shoes keeps saying this girl's got it. This girl's got it. Eventually, her and the ballerina fall in love, and the dude who owns the theater and runs the ballet and is responsible for putting the ballet on and touring it around the world, he gets jealous. He wants the ballerina for herself. So it's great. They show the musical. There's like a 30-minute sequence where you show the musical in full, and it is surreal and it is trippy. It's a Technicolor wet dream. Like the colors just pop. If you've never seen The Red Shoes, I cannot talk about it enough. It came out in 1941. See it. Like that's all I can say. And the next thing I watched was yesterday was December 19th, which was the 20th anniversary of The Fellowship of the Ring being released into theaters for the first time. And I borrowed my brother's 4K Blu-ray and watched the theatrical version because that's my favorite. That's my favorite of the whole series is the theatrical version of Fellowship of the Ring. And watching the 4K Blu-ray was like watching it for the first time. Like my man Peter Jackson went in and remastered the fuck out of these movies, and he touched up a lot of the effects. Like the effects look better; they don't look dated. Like he
Really?
went. It was like watching the movie brand new. Yeah. He moved the color palette closer to The Hobbit, but I think that works more to these movies' advantages because the colors pop more now. But rewatching this yesterday, I was just it didn't. A lot of what Peter Jackson was doing in this movie absolutely would not fly today. Like the swooping shots, the Dutch angles, the zoom ins. Like a studio would see that and probably be like, no. Like he was shooting this movie like it was a horror movie.
Right, but in many respects, it kind of is. It's supposed to be scary. You're supposed to feel the threat from Mordor. So shooting it like a horror movie, it makes sense.
I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm praising that.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't see why a studio would look. Any studio that's going to give him that amount of money to do that movie it's got to be like sort of like hands off on it, right? It's just like let him do what he does.
Well, if you don't know the history of it, this was originally supposed to be 2 movies. Miramax was going to do it, and Bob and Harvey kept cutting down the budget, and got to the point where they told him, "Hey, you could do 1 movie or not do it at all." So eventually, he took it to New Line with the stipulations that if he got it made at New Line, Bob and Harvey had to be producers on it because the Weinsteins are pieces of shit. The
Right.
dude who runs New Line was like, "Isn't this 3 books?" And Peter Jackson's like, "Yeah." So he's like, "Why not just do 3 movies?" And he's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll just give you the budget to do 3 movies." And that's how this shit was born.
Wow. Isn't that a isn't that amazing what happens when the suits trust creatives to be creatives? Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
man. Make Lord. God damn. I wish New Line was still its own independent entity instead of just part of Warner Brothers. Like, they were nice sister companies. You didn't need to roll New Line into Warner Brothers, man.
Right, right. And like New Line put out like bangers. What I mean, the whole entire Scream saga was New Line. Uh,
No,
you know,
that was Param
no, that was New
Miramax.
Line. What
No, that was
wasn't that
Miramax.
New Line?
Nightmare on Elm Street is what is New Line.
I could have sworn. All right, so
No. Remember, New Line is the house that built Freddy.
right, I knew that, but I could have sworn that there was another Wes Craven property that was a New Line distribution or production. Huh. All right. Well, I stand corrected.
But yeah, New Line has hits, man. Like, they had the Austin Powers series. Like, they have a lot of stuff
I'm waiting for
under
the
their
Austin
belt.
Powers reboot
What?
because I'm waiting for the Austin Powers reboot because that's just going to happen.
We'll see. Oh,
I mean,
Jesus.
I'm not waiting for it. I'm dreading
I
it,
know what
but
you
I
mean.
know
I
it's
know
going to
what you
happen.
mean. I know what you mean by
Yeah.
that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I can't say enough about Lord of the Rings. The thing I also love about Lord of the Rings, and I'll keep saying this till the day I die, 1 story, 3 movies. Each movie has a dramatic rise in action and a dramatic resolution. Like, the dramatic resolution of the first movie is that battle at Minas Tirith on the river. Like, that is the
Hmm.
dramatic climax of the movie. And that movie does have an ending where the Fellowship splits off. Sam and Frodo, they're like, "All right, we're going to Mordor." That was great. That's how you write an ending without being an ending, guys. Like, goddamn, man. Like,
Ah, I, it feels like you're targeting Marvel with that
I'm
statement.
targeting every blockbuster that came out this year. Like, right, that's how you write. And if you know your story has to continue and will continue, that's how you do it. Study these Lord of the Rings movies. Like, even the Hobbit couldn't even get that shit right. But yeah, I can't say enough, man. I Fellowship of the Ring. Fuck, man, I'm gonna watch this shit again just because, like, that 4K is amazing. Like, I gotta cop the 4K myself. That is, I can't believe it's 20 years old. It makes me feel old as shit now.
Makes you feel old. Man, motherfucker, I'm older than you, so that makes me feel ancient.
All right, and the last thing I'll get into that I watched was Pig. I rewatched Pig, and I will talk more about Pig later.
All right then.
So let's get into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right, let's start off with Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
I mean, the shit looks magical. I mean, what can you say? I am here as much as I'm kind of sick of the Harry Potter universe. I'm a sucker for fucking magic, man. I'm a sucker for fucking creatures and worlds, secret worlds, and shit like that. It looks good. I mean, but
This
it's a Harry Potter trailer. Of course, it's gonna look good.
this looks like what the second movie should have been. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's cool that Dumbledore's assembling his literal own army. Like, they did that Dumbledore's army thing in the 5th book. and
Right.
all that, but this literally is him assembling like, yo, y'all my trusted inner circle. Y'all might not trust me by the end of this mission, but I trust y'all enough to go on this mission for me.
Right. Right. I'm
How do you
loving
think?
how there are. I'm loving how there are people of color.
Yeah. How do
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
Mads looks as Grindelwald?
I mean, fucking Mads is Mads, man. Like, I will watch. I could watch him d- literally read the New York Times, and it's
I
like,
would.
okay.
I just wish they brought back Colin Farrell. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have easily brought him back.
I mean, they could have, but I mean, he's off being the Penguin, man. He's off doing his own shit, getting his own spin off and all that shit.
You shouldn't have had Johnny Depp in the first place. That was a lame reveal at the end of the first movie. Like that was so lame.
Well, because they have to, they gotta, they gotta deal with Hot Topic or something like that. They gotta fucking and at this point, uh, Johnny Depp is the king of Hot Topic.
I will say this: if this thing sucks, two things: this franchise dead. Fantastic Beasts franchise is dead. If this shit sucks. Number two, if this shit sucks, WB, you need to kick J.K. Rowling the fuck out of here. Like, get her the fuck out the paint. Pay her out, and just be like, all right, everything else that we're gonna do is not gonna include you. Here's the door. Go back to England. Good luck. Like, get her the fuck out of here.
Shit. But yeah, so there you go. That's that.
Uh, the unbearable weight of massive talent. I cannot
Fuck.
see this shit.
Oh my god. I will scream this from the rooftops. Uh, uh, fucking Nick Cage is going to go down in history as one of the greatest actors of the 20th century. And the fact that
Yes,
he's getting his own sort of being
meta.
John, but meta being John Malkovich shit is like, oh my fucking god, I
Yeah,
cannot wait. I am a I'm a Cage apologist, but you don't need to apologize for Cage because just let Cage
and
be Cage.
and I like how his biggest fan in the world is fucking Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I
Who's
cannot wait.
That dude's look like he's having the time of his fucking life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks like so much fucking fun. Um, yeah, and it's gonna be like I'm all for meta movies. I'm all for like the examination of a person's life and career uh, uh through this lens. So I'm here for it.
So let's get into our next trailer, which I saw they played this in front of Spider-Man, and I was like, yo, wrong audience to play this fucking trailer before. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Which look, I love the Daniels. I love the Daniels because I've been following them since they were doing music videos. And like they are fucking super surreal, super inventive. Um, depending on which day you catch me, uh, I either love Swiss Army Man or hate Swiss Army Man. you know, um,
That movie's
but
amazing.
yeah, yeah. But like I said, catch whatever day you catch me on. But I honestly, this looks like what Shang-Chi should have been.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it fucking looks superb. And like this is going to be one of my most anticipated of 2022.
Y'all, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, it's A24, so we know the trailer ain't gonna, is overselling this.
Right.
It's not gonna be as action-packed as this trailer makes it out to be. And it'll probably
But
have an emotional gut punch at the end.
yeah, but I'm here for it. I am
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Yeah. I love that, oh, man, what's her name, man? Let's look this up real
um,
quick. Because I got to give her flowers. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It is Michelle
Michelle
Yeoh.
Yeoh.
I'm so glad Michelle Yeoh is getting her flowers. She's popping up all over the place and has been killing it. Same with Ming Na Wen. Like she's been in a lot, popping up. These are two top tier Chinese actresses from the '90s who are back. So
Yep. I mean,
give them their flowers.
so very rarely have we suggested that you watch a trailer. We've just kind of like talked about trailers. But if you're online right now, which you are because this is a podcast on the internet, go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, the trailer. All right? And get fucking super hyped.
It sucks that we gotta watch this for this podcast, though.
What do you mean?
Nigga, this is something I want to see the first time high, not second time.
Oh well, I mean, I won't take offense if you show up high to the screening.
Yeah, but I
You
gotta
can do
review
that.
this shit.
You can still
Gotta
review
review
it.
this shit.
Most like honestly always assume any review you given me is you were watching it high. That's the brand.
Man, but I can't be slumped over in the theater and miss half the fucking movie like a fucking
Sorry,
dope fiend.
man. I will fucking weekend at Bernie's you. If anyone comes by, I'll fucking pull the strings. It'll be
Nah,
good.
this one. Nah, this is one I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I'm just old. I'm tired. All right,
Oh shit!
let's move it to The Righteous Gemstones season 2. God damn, this shit
Fuck
is
yes.
it's approaching quickly.
Yeah, look, if you haven't seen The Righteous Gemstones, hop on HBO. Stop listening to us right now. Hop on HBO Max and watch the first season of The Righteous Gemstones. Uh, because honestly, that was one of my favorite shows. When did it come out? 2019.
I think 2020, early 2020.
Yeah, like I think it was pre-pandemic though.
Yep. It was like right
Like
before it hit.
like pre-pandemic. Fucking 2020. Danny McBride doing Danny McBride.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. Yeah, and this looks like it upped the ante. this even this show even makes me like Adam Devine.
Yeah. Yeah. He's good in what's the name of that shit? Workaholics, but Workaholics has been done.
Workaholics, right? Workaholics. And like he did that movie Game Over Man, which
Oh yeah,
was
they all did that. That movie
yeah,
sucked. That was not funny.
that was
That was
that
oof, that
should be
was something.
ill-advised cinema. That's going to be
Yeah.
ill-advised cinema for next year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but the Righteous Gemstones, it looks like they turned everything up to 10, and it's if you don't know the story, it's about a family of fucking televangelists who in a mega church, and all the people swirling around them and the machinations of everything and just like keeping their empire going, and it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Mainly because most of that shit's true. Like televangelists are fucking con artists, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, look,
Like
I
how
think
you think Joel Osteen's 60 years old and still has the face of a 30-year-old?
look, I'm thinking that anyone who makes money off of Jesus is a scam artist.
Oh yeah. Shout out to TD Jakes. We know you scamming.
Yeah, no, fucking look. Hey, I get your money, baby. Get your money, boo boo. But don't try to tell me Jesus gave away all his wealth. That's all I'm saying. You don't need a private plane. Greyhound's good enough for the rest of us. Motherfucker, you
True.
can fly coach.
True. Shout out to Creflo Dollar, who was begging his followers to give him money so he could buy a G4. He's like, look at this new private G4 just came out. I need it, and they bought it for him.
Yeah. So,
all right, let's get into our last trailer, which is Robert Eggers, one of my favorite filmmakers, who keeps getting better and better with each film he's released. The Witch was fantastic, but I love The Lighthouse even more. He's back with a movie that was he's been talking about since the beginning of his career, which is The Northman. It is a Viking revenge saga, and I just want to say this is much bigger in scope and production than I was anticipating. Like, I thought it was going to be small like his previous two films.
And this looks fucking huge.
Yeah.
And violent and terrifying, and just it's coming to Apple TV, which is Apple TV is just trying to outspend everybody, honestly, at this point.
Hold on a second. I think that's coming strictly to theaters, dude.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that is strictly theaters.
The trailer you sent me said Apple TV.
Let me see. No, it's a Universal Pictures movie going straight to theaters.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, because the trailer you sent me said Apple TV, but I don't trust YouTube anymore.
Yep. It's going straight to.
It's straight to theaters. Good. This looks like a movie that you need to watch big.
I want to know what the budget on this motherfucker is, because I'm not sure if he got money, which would be weird if he got money, or if this is a case of the Green Knight, where he was just using craft. The craft is just amazing.
All right, let's see.
Where it looks a lot more.
60 million.
Oh shit, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right. So he got money this time. Shout out to Robert Eggers.
Looks like he spent it the right fucking way.
Shout out to Robert Eggers, man. I don't know how somebody watches The Witch and The Lighthouse and is like, yeah, let's give this motherfucker $60 million. But I'm happy he did.
And if you look at the IMDb, every Nordic actor working today is in this fucking thing.
Yeah, because Bjork's in this shit.
Right? She didn't she write? She helped write it, didn't she?
Nah.
Did she get a story by credit?
Nah, this dude who helped write the story, I think, worked on Lamb.
Okay. Sojourn.
Jonesy or Johnsy.
I don't know. But yeah, he wrote Dancer in the Dark also.
I hate that fucking movie. I'm not a big Lars von Trier dude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I liked his Dogma 93, Dogma 95 shit, when he was just, wild and experimental with video cameras. But, I feel you.
His stuff feels like edgy for the sake of being edgy. He co-wrote Lamb. Right there. He co-wrote Lamb. So we'll see how this how it plays out. Yeah, man, I'm very excited to see this. April 22nd. So
happy almost birthday to me.
Very soon, man. Very soon. Fuck, man. All my favorite indie directors are kind of busting out. And before we move on, just real quick, Robert Eggers has confirmed that his Nosferatu is still on the table. It is not dead, and he is trying to get that made. Let him make that shit.
Well, I'm sure once they see the box office on this, they'll sign the checks and give him the green light.
And his Nosferatu is not going to cost that much money.
Yeah, but they probably are like, let's see what he does with this.
All right, so let's get into our main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the Film Blurts feature film review.
All right, so The Matrix Resurrections, man. There was a 30-minute stretch where this movie gets meta and starts making fun of itself. And mind you, it's part of the story. It's very integral to the story. I leaned over to you. I was like, man, niggas are going to hate this. And that's the only thing I said to you the entire time.
Yep, and you're absolutely right. This Matrix movie it's intelligent without making you feel stupid. You know?
Yes. Yes.
And
It,
that I mean that as a compliment. Like, it's smart, and it rewards you for paying attention to it, but also the other films, right? And it doesn't handhold you. Like, if you don't know the other films, fuck you. But it doesn't make you feel stupid.
I think before we saw this 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and I think the thing that helped me was literally rewatching the entire trilogy because I was so hyped to see this.
Right,
That
right.
definitely helped in this movie's favor. It definitely elevates Reloaded and Revolutions much, much more, makes them better movies because it pays off a lot of stuff across all three movies. And the thing I love first and foremost, Matrix shit aside, this is first and foremost a love story. And I love that. I love that these big blockbuster movies aren't afraid to do romantic
Emotion.
love stories within the genre.
Like, so I never bought Neo and Trinity's relationship, their love, their connection in the last three movies, right? Here, I feel it, you know?
Yeah,
Like, I get it
yeah.
now. I was talking to someone this weekend about it, and I was like, this feels like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with kung fu and shotguns, you know?
I see that. I see that.
And that's a fucking compliment, man. That is a fucking uh it was Lena, right? Lena directed this one.
Lana.
Lana,
Lana
I
came
can't, man.
back and Lily sat this out. And for those of you
Right,
wondering why it's just one Wachowski this time, well, they went through something pretty bad. Their parents died basically like weeks apart. And in their grief, and the sisters had a lot of grief. In their grief, Lana came up with this idea like, what happens if we could bring somebody we loved back? And they love Neo and they love Trinity. And for Lily, that hit too close to home. That's why she sat this one out because she's still trying to process that grief of losing her mom and dad, especially
right,
after they've transitioned. You know what I mean?
right.
Uh,
Um,
I get where that's coming from, and I get why Lily made this, and it's very clear watching this movie that she was working through a lot
some
of
things,
her demons in a healthy
right?
way. Because this is
Yeah, and
co-written by David Mitchell, and for those of you who don't know, David Mitchell is the dude who wrote the Cloud Atlas novel, not the movie, the novel. Um, there's a lot in this movie that I can't wait to see again, just so I could wrap my head around it. Because this is like the first movie where there's stuff in here that I didn't get on my first watch, but I understood what was going on. And by the end of the
right,
movie, everything's clear, but I just need to watch it again.
this is going
And
to
I want to
reward
watch it.
viewers for multiple.
Yeah. And I just want to watch it again just because I loved it.
Um, I don't know if this is. I love what they did with Morpheus. I love
Yeah.
how,
Oh, that's going to break the movie
right.
for a lot of people.
Was that?
I said that's going to break the movie for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. But I dug it. I dug how
Yes.
they how they pulled it off, because it's how they pulled off Morpheus is pretty much how they pulled off the whole entire movie. You know, I don't want to spoil anything for you, uh, but yeah, it's so many layers to this fucking to this fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? Because you think about the oh,
I
it's
think this is what me and you have been asking for because we reviewed a lot of blockbusters this year, and this is what we're
right.
asking for. It was subversive, it was weird and wasn't afraid to be weird, and it took big risks. Like, this is a risky movie. Even though it's the fourth in a franchise, it's doing stuff here that's going to literally break this franchise for people. And I wish more franchises would
Would take
swing
that
for the
risk.
fences like this one does and just get weird with it and just keep. And the best thing about this is it keeps building the universe out. Like, it feels bigger because it's doing new things and introducing new things, and the things they introduce, it makes sense as this is the next natural
It's logical.
progression in this world.
Yeah. So don't expect uh bullet time and we need guns, lots of guns. I mean, there's action in it.
Oh,
There's
they
plenty of action in it.
specifically make fun of that. They
Right, right.
specifically make.
But look, if you're thinking of this movie as all right, what new thing are they gonna unveil visually? You know,
It's
that's
not
gonna
there.
redefine a generation. It's like no, what they did was uh, they introduced a new way of thinking about movies, about this movie, about the past movies. You know, so it's an action movie, but it's more about the the mental aspects of it, the emotional aspects of it, than it is the action aspects.
What I
But
really love
that
too is
last
that
half
this
hour
is
though,
going to. Yeah, I well. Oh, yeah. When Trinity and Neo get on that motorbike, that is the most insane shit that I've ever seen in a movie. Because all that, like 90% of that's practical. I was just like, you. But what I do love is that this is going to piss off a lot of toxic male fans, specifically with Trinity, just because. Well, you'll see. Especially
yeah,
that final
you'll
shot,
see.
that's going to piss off a lot of people where they're just like, "You can't do that. You can't do
What
that.
the,
How dare they?"
what the fuck, bro? What the fuck, man?
I will say this. I've only seen it once. Jeff's only seen it once. This gets me excited to see the next chapter if in the Matrix. Like this leads to so many new possibilities.
But let me preface this. This is one of those rare Hollywood blockbusters where beginning, middle, and end. If they never,
Yes.
I hope they get all the sequels, right? But if it ended right here, that's fine because they actually end the fucking movie.
Right. Um yeah, man, this is the most unexpected and subversive blockbuster of the year. Uh this is what I call a sucker punch because it came out of nowhere. It surprised me, got me right in the face, right in my feelings. Uh, it's a beautiful movie, man. If you look, I mean, allegorical, it works. Just on a surface level, it works. Visually, it works. The fight. Some people were complaining that there's not enough action. I think there's plenty of action. Like, there's a fight
For
in an
what they
abandoned building where an old character shows up, and it is amazing.
uh, it's like I said, people you can tell the type of person you're dealing with what their complaints are about the movie. If they say
Right, because
there's not enough action in it, then we know that you didn't get the philosophical aspects of the original trilogy and what it was trying to say. Like we know who you
they
are.
didn't
We
like the meta of it. They're like, how did this meta stuff wasn't cool? And it's just like, man, you film critics
it
are
was the
worse than
coolest.
fucking fans sometimes.
Look, the meta shit is the best part of the movie. My favorite part of the movie is the boardroom pitch meeting when they're
Yes,
trying to repackage.
yes,
That was my favorite part of the fucking movie.
like that's literally making fun of the studio system.
It's making fun of the
Uh,
studio system. It's making fun of the Matrix. It's
Making fun of the video game system. It's making fun of every entertainment uh window that we have now,
right.
because that's how it is. Are
And
you
people
part
who
of a
complain about
franchise? Yes. How many sequels can we get out of this? 5? Perfect.
my favorite line is like, "We need a new bullet time."
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
And look,
man.
if there wasn't enough action for you, the last half hour is just fucking crazy.
That's what I want to say is, just like Spider-Man No Way Home, this movie is both of these movies have full throttle action packed third acts that just go all in. Like, those third acts in both of those movies are just insane. And the fact that they're sharing IMAX screens, it makes a perfect double feature. Like, go this Wednesday, go over Christmas, go over New Year's, go see Matrix Resurrections, and then go see Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, it's a perfect double feature.
Get your brain melted, then get your heart melted.
Yeah, and both of them will do both, honestly.
Yeah, yep.
So I
So
mean,
yeah, Matrix, Matrix Resurrections. It's different than I expected, but just as good as I had hoped.
yeah. So now, because this is our last episode for a while, we're gonna get into our favorite films of 2021, and I'm gonna let Jeff start because I got a lot. So you go ahead.
All right. Well, I did my top 10. These are my top. I would say my top 10 films of 2021 for various reasons. We'll start with number 10, and I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. Vacation Friends is number 10. I thoroughly
Hey,
enjoyed this
who's
stupid
gonna give you
fucking
flack
movie.
for that?
What? I don't know. I know someone is. It was a fun fucking movie. And it made me like Little Rel just a little bit more. Any movie that can make me like Little Rel uh, deserves a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of thanks. Um, John Cena was fucking just amazing in it. It hit on all cylinders. It reminded me of an early or like a late '90s, early 2000s raunch comedy done with care, I would say, and like by people who cared. It didn't seem just like a cash grab. It seemed like everybody here was having fun. Uh, Number 9, Kong. Kong versus Godzilla. All right, just because uh, it brought me back to like when I was a kid. Like this big fucking dumb monster movie. Like it had many faults, but when it got right, it got really really right. I'm not a Godzilla purist. I'm not a Kong purist. So don't talk to me about like, oh, Godzilla, isn't that big, or Kong wouldn't have grown that big, or whatever like that. It was just fun. It was really really fun. Uh, 8 is Pig. I did not expect to feel the level of emotion that I did watching this movie, because the way they pitched it was it's it's John Wick with a truffle pig, and it's not that at all. That's sort of how it starts out, but then it becomes a meditation on loss, a meditation on you know what defines a person and the attachments we make to just things and identities. um and I remember us leaving the movie theater, and we had a half-hour talk with this I would say she was like a 75-year-old white woman.
Yes.
And we stood outside the theater for a half hour talking about how good this movie is. And so the fact that, you know, two two black dudes who review movies were able to just have this conversation with this, older, nice, white-haired white lady, and like be able to connect that way, that says something. My seventh one is No Time to Die. Just because it felt like a fitting close to the Daniel Craig Bond series, and it just felt like I was saying goodbye to a friend. It felt like a really well deserved and uh, heartfelt goodbye to this character that I've been, you know, I've been watching for the last, over a decade. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. 15 years, man.
15 years. I've been like Bond. Like I've watched Bond movies before, but Daniel Craig's Bond felt like my Bond. You know, the Bond I was. I'm an adult now. This felt like me. This felt like a Bond I can connect with, and it just, like I said, I teared up at the end. There's a lot of tears this year, for movies I shouldn't be crying at. Six, A Quiet Place 2. Uh, you rarely get intelligent, well thought out, well executed sequels in general, but sequels to horror movies. Um, and this amps up everything from the first one. Okay, it amps up uh, the emotional resonance. It amps up the uh, the tension. It amps up the character development, the world building. That first 15 minutes, or I guess 10 minutes, when we see the alien attack and the way the sound is used is masterful. Um, Five is Matrix Resurrections. We just spent a half hour talking about that, so no need to go further with that. Four, Spider-Man No Way Home. Uh, check the last episode and earlier this episode for my thoughts on that. It is the best Marvel movie to come out this year. It is the best Spider-Man movie ever, and it did not disappoint me at all, you know, um, because I had high hopes for it. But you know how it is. You
Yeah,
have high hopes,
but they're
but
very rarely met.
right, exactly. And this met it. Number three, Dune. Uh, Dune reminds you that movies are magic, and that the creator is king, right? No matter how many pieces of product that come out, how many movies by committee, a an individual with his team who has vision, who has drive, who has um, a passion for what they're doing can make a piece of art, And the thing that this is sci-fi. Like, this is the best part of sci-fi, uh, where it introduces hard concepts. It forces people to think just a little bit harder, a little bit more, you know. Um, so yeah, Dune is number three. It hit everything, and this is a movie that should have been watched loud and big, you know, and the second one is going to be, or the continuation of the Dune saga, is I cannot wait for it because I know that's going to be special. I know this movie in its entirety is going to um, inspire the next generation of filmmakers like The Matrix did before, and Star Wars did before, and all these other movies did before. This is a special. This movie is going to be building is a building block for the next 50 years of filmmaking. And filmmakers.
Absolutely.
Number two, Suicide Squad. Uh, James Gunn made he redeemed the first one, or the Heirs movie. He has made arguably the best DCEU, movie there has been. You know, it hits on all levels. It's so good that I watched it 3 times in one day. It's fun, it's violent, he was able to right the ship while also giving us his own personal touch. If you've seen a James Gunn film, I'm talking like back his Trauma days and his Slither and everything like that, you can see that he has stayed himself throughout his filmmaking career, and this is the
Yeah.
culmination of this. So I love what he did there. And like, I wish I could watch the Suicide Squad again right now. That's how much
Baby,
I
I
love
got
that
that
fucking
4K
movie.
Blu-ray.
Right, I might have to buy that 4K Blu-ray, just because that's my second favorite movie of the year. My first favorite movie of the year, my number one, is West Side Story. And I say that because it's Spielberg at his best, and Spielberg is the person that made me want to get into filmmaking. E.T. was my first movie, um, and the fact that I don't fuck with musicals. We've had this conversation numerous times. The fact that I don't fuck with musicals, and the fact that after watching this movie, both of us were singing and kind of dancing. We were enthralled by the cinematography, the lighting, the acting, every part of it. It's a testament to filmmaking. It goes beyond genre. It goes beyond like, oh, I don't fuck with horror movies. I don't fuck with musicals. I don't fuck with dramas. It goes beyond that. It is a masterful piece of cinema. And that's what movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to connect us. Alone in the dark, we're together. And that's what West Side Story did for me. Honorable mention. I'm going to close this up. I got 4 honorable mentions. I got King Richard, Encanto, Free Guy, and The Green Knight. And go back to previous episodes to hear my thoughts on them. But so if we're gonna do a top 14, that's my top 14.
All right. Well,
And I'm done.
Those are some solid picks. I was not expecting to hear West Side Story be Jeff's number one film. And this is why we are who we are. Well, I want to start by giving a couple of TV recommendations. First, I want to start with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It definitely bit off more it can chew, but at the point in time where I was getting down on Marvel, this pulled me back up. It was nice to see Sam struggle in becoming Captain America and see that relationship between him and Bucky grow. And I can't wait for it to be explored more in this 4th Captain America movie. Another thing I'll give as a honorable mention for TV is Loki. Loki is what Marvel needs to do more of, which is just big, weird, character-driven stories that make you feel like all the emotions and then still has the big set pieces to go with it. And what I love about Loki is that last set piece, that fight between between Loki and his, I guess Sophie, we'll call her. I forget what her name is. The female Loki. That was
Yeah.
rooted in character and emotion and love, and that's what we need more of. Perfect cliffhanger because this is a TV show, so that works. And this cliffhanger basically fucks up almost everything going forward. So I'm very interested to see how we move on for that. I would say I want to give two other shout outs. I would say Curb and I would say Insecure, but they don't end until the day after Christmas. So hopefully Insecure sticks the landing because this is the final episode of the entire show, and this entire show has been fantastic. Like there hasn't been a weak episode in this show's 5-season run. It's I can't say enough. Insecure. And finally, I'll say for TV, Succession season 3. What a wild ride of a season. And then the last episode was just emotional payoff with a gut punch. Like that the last 2 minutes was just devastating. So I'm very interested to see if the 4th season is going to be the last or if they're going to stick it out for a 5th. Because I know Jesse Armstrong, the creator, said season 4 or 5 is it. So that's all I have to say about that. Honorable mentions for me: No Time to Die. Cary Fukunaga has officially become a blockbuster filmmaker, making a very solid entry into the James Bond canon. This would probably be on my best of list if they didn't kill him. Also, great use of IMAX. I'm mad that Christopher Nolan stole the IMAX cameras from you guys. Y'all deserve better than that. Nightmare Alley. Nightmare Alley is fantastic. It's Guillermo. It reminds you why you love Guillermo del Toro. It's nice to see Guillermo del Toro do something a little more grounded with no monsters, but there are monsters in this, and that the people are monsters. There's a black and white version being released in 4 theaters in LA. Bring that out to New York because I do want to see the black and white version. I am a sucker for noir. I'm a noirista. Please give us that black and white version. Another honorable mention, Benedetta. Benedetta is Paul Verhoeven's new film. We talked about it before. Go listen to previous episodes. Benedetta, if it's playing near you, go see it. It is wild. It is a more hardcore version of The Devils with a happier ending. Belfast. Belfast is a nice hour-and-a-half drama from Kenneth Branagh, a person I've kind of wrote off. I don't want to say much. See Belfast. Great cinematography. Very heartfelt story. Hopefully he gets Death in the Nile right. Passing's now on Netflix. Shout out to Rebecca Hall. Shout out to the 2 leads who are in the movie. It's an important movie for me, and that's why it makes the honorable mentions, because this needs to be seen. The Last Duel made me feel bad to be a man. The Last Duel is also very important. It's based on a true story. It reminds you why Ridley Scott is one of the best living filmmakers working today. I wish this movie got more love and should get more love. Eternals, while it is messy and a little sloppy, I still love it because it brings up a lot of moral and philosophical stuff. There's a fight scene in this that is modeled off the Revenant, which I would never think to see in a Marvel movie. And it also has a very tender sex scene that's very romantic, which also, again, surprising for a Marvel movie. Chloe Zhao, welcome to blockbuster filmmaking. I hope you get to make more big movies. And finally, my last honorable mention is The Card Counter. Paul Schrader follows up his perfect movie First Reformed with another character drama. Oscar Isaac, you are an actor, man, and this movie reminded me why you are an actor. Also, I guess let's start giving it Tiffany Haddish more serious roles. All right, with that, let's move into my favorite films of the year. Let's start at number 19, Wrath of Man. Guy Ritchie just floored me with this. I didn't know he had it in him. Jason Statham, man, we need to get you in more movies like this. Number 18, A Quiet Place Part 2. A Quiet Place Part 2 is a studio horror movie at its best. This reminds me why we can get stuff like this out of a studio. A sequel that's not only better, it's very rare we get a horror sequel that's better than the original, but a horror sequel that isn't a sequel more than it is a continuation of the story. It has a message at the heart of it. Like, the only reason why it's not higher on my list is, y'all did Diamond dirty. Y'all did Diamond dirty. Number 17 is Nobody. Nobody is, sometimes you just want like a mid-level action movie that's just balls to the wall, gives you enough character. Yeah.
I forgot about
you
Nobody.
forgot about
Yeah.
Nobody. Yeah, man. Sometimes you just want a balls to the wall action film that gives you just enough character development and lets you fill in the rest of the blanks. And I have so much fun with it. I watched it again and again. Man, tie this into John Wick. I would love to see these two worlds collide. Number 16, The Night House. The Night House is one of those horror movies that gets under your skin because it is more psychological than the normal horror movie. The less said about this, the better. Just go in and see it. Rebecca Hall stars in it. Man, this is another one I was slept on. King Richard. I don't really fuck with biopics, but this biopic sung. It's very rare that we get biopics this good. And this well directed, this well acted, this well shot. This is a movie. Will Smith, I hope you win Best Actor, man. The Tragedy of Macbeth is number 14. The Tragedy of Macbeth is I can't say enough about it. I wish I could have went to that IMAX event that they had a couple of Sundays ago. I would love to see this on IMAX. I want to see this in a theater, but I'm glad I saw it. Please, people, watch this in the best way possible. So if you have a home theater setup, put this on, stream it, and if you can't see it in a theater, see it in a theater. Number 13, it's a tie between two musicals because, as Jeff said, I don't really like musicals either, but this year was the year of musicals because Tick Tick Boom on Netflix is also good. So number 13, a tie between In the Heights and Cyrano. Both excellent musicals that floored me, came out of nowhere, tell heartfelt stories. One about minority struggles and what it's like to be a minority in America, and another about just being, different and wanting to be loved and unrequited love. And just, both of these movies are fantastic. That's all I can say. Number 12, sharing the spot at number 12 is Encanto and the Mitchells versus the Machines. Encanto is an animated musical by Disney. This is the best movie Disney has put out all year, and that includes their live action stuff. Because Spider-Man is technically a co-share, so we can't really count that as strictly Disney. So Encanto is just, I can't say enough. It's nice to see a movie about Hispanic people, like In the Heights, that have all shades of Hispanic people, really celebrates the culture like In the Heights. And I think it's universally for everybody. And the music drives the story forward. The Mitchells versus the Machines. This proves why Phil Lord and Chris Miller are who they are. They did not direct this, but they did write, produce it. And this is one of the most... The animation in this is innovative, just like it was in Into the Spider-Verse. Plus, like Into the Spider-Verse, it makes you feel something. By the end of the movie, you're going to be invested in these cartoon characters. Like, if you have Netflix right now, Mitchells versus the Machines, watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Number 11, Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright has finally like made a movie that is like has almost no jokes in it. This is a very terrifying film for a number of reasons. Um, I really like that there's a black man in it. He's a main character, only black person in this, and he's a good guy. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to do right by Ellie. Ellie's our main character, and there's a mystery. There's almost like a murder. In addition to be a horror film that's a psychological thriller, it's also a murder mystery because you're getting to the heart of what's going on. And I didn't see that reveal coming at the end. A fantastic fucking movie. Edgar Wright, please do not stop making movies. Number 10 is a tie between The Matrix Resurrections and Godzilla. The Matrix Resurrections we just did our review on, but this is a decades later sequel that is just fan-fucking-tastic. It pays off the previous two sequels, elevates the previous two sequels, which is a lot to say. I think it does bold things like the second Matrix does, because the second Matrix, 30 minutes in, has a rave orgy. Like, and I get what they were doing there. They were celebrating human life and just showing like, yo, this is what humans do and this is how humans live. I get what they were doing there, but it's still crazy that a sequel that was at the time a direct sequel to a cultural touchstone had a rave orgy. That's crazy. And this one goes crazier. And I love it. I love what they do with the characters. I love that they built out this world. Godzilla versus Kong. This pays off the previous entries into the MonsterVerse, and it gets right what these other movies didn't, that it understands you're here for the monsters, and it gives you just enough of the humans to drive the story along without you feeling stupid, and invest you enough in the human characters that get you give a fuck. The fights are amazing. This was well worth the build-up over 4 previous movies. Man, please keep making these guys like keep the MonsterVerse going. This is fun. I love watching Godzilla vs. Kong. Number 9 is Spider-Man No Way Home. It's the best Spider-Man movie ever. Like, I can't say any more than I already have. Like, go see it in IMAX. Go see The Matrix Resurrections in IMAX. Like, this is just when Marvel was starting to lose me, this movie pulled me back in. That's all I can say. Like, it reminds you why Marvel is what it is. Like, it's this is just watching it again, seeing it a second time made me fall in love with it even more. I just love this movie. Number 8, Licorice Pizza. Licorice Pizza is just, I think we've all had love like this. I think everybody's lived through love like this, or even you've married your love like this. And if you did, congratulations. But this is just a all-around well-made movie, and we've seen so many blockbusters this year. Like, I was getting burnt out on big budget movies, and this movie managed to have a set piece that had more stakes, was more dangerous than most set pieces in major blockbusters this year. And that's when Alana Haim had the free hand driving a truck backwards. That shit was thrilling. That shit was exciting. It was edited perfectly. Like, it was edited like an action scene. It was, Licorice Pizza. Like, go in as blind as you can and just enjoy the ride. Number 7 is a documentary by one of my favorite drummers of all time. That is Questlove of the Roots, Amir Questlove Thompson. He did Summer of Soul, or The Revolution Will Not Be Televised, showing the Harlem Summer series in the 60s. And it was a celebration of Black life, a celebration of joy, a celebration of the music. It was so well put together, so well made. I am glad that it's winning Best Documentary at all these awards ceremonies, and it's probably going to win Best Documentary at the Oscars. It should. I loved it. Number 6 is Come On, Come On. Mike Mills, I've never fucked with your movies, but you got me here. If you've ever been around kids long enough, or you have kids, or you're an uncle like Joaquin Phoenix is in this movie, you will understand. Like, this had me crying at points because you understand, like, you love the kid, but you also hate the kid. Like, you would do anything for the kid, but at the same time, you want to throw the kid out the window. Like, come on, man, is such a great film. Number 5, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. This came out at a time where I was just shrugging my shoulders at blockbusters. I was like, all right, Godzilla vs. Kong came out and nothing has met it. And then James Gunn comes out and shows that it is possible to do a movie with multiple characters and give each of those characters meaning, weight, heart, and heft to make you feel something. And not only that, but do it in a hilarious way to keep you laughing, keep it suspenseful because you don't know who's going to die next, keep you invested in the stakes of the story. Even when it gets big at the end with Starro, big and ridiculous, it's still grounded. It's sad to me that the best movie DC has put out is about a bunch of bad guys, and the bad guys have more heart and soul than Superman and Batman. That's fucking pathetic. Number 4 is The Green Knight. David Lowery is one of the best filmmakers working today. If you haven't seen his previous films, go check them out. But this, to me, is my favorite David Lowery film. It is Christmas. I'm going to watch this Christmas Day because this is a Christmas movie. The Green Knight is what I want more of. Let's start doing more genre shit like this. Just weird genre shit. With that's a morality tale, because this is first and foremost a morality tale. Like, that last 15 minutes of the movie will blow your mind. Like, you could hear a pin drop. Like, when me and Jeff saw it, you could hear a pin drop in the theater. Number 3 is West Side Story. This was a movie I was shitting on for the longest time just because I was like, why are we doing this? Steven Spielberg is talented. He can get other things made. He should focus his talents on other things. I know he's been wanting to do this since he was a child, but still, why are you doing this? The 1961 version is still a classic, and he proved me wrong, man. This is the definitive version of West Side Story. I probably am going to see this again when I get the chance. Yeah, man, he reminds you why he's the best living director on the planet. Like, the way this guy, the handheld in this, like Terrence says, makes you feel like you're at war, because it is a literal war. It's a war with the city, a war with the community, and then a war between the races. Like, and inside that war is two people find love. I mean, how more poetic and beautiful can you get with that? And Rachel Zegler, she's going to get more and more roles. I'll guarantee you that. Number 2 is Dune Part 1. Dune Part 1 is the perfect hybrid between art and entertainment, and proves that it is possible to make an intelligent blockbuster on a big budget, on a big scale. Dune is like Mad Max Fury Road, where it reminds me of that, where you build as much as you can and you do as much as you can practically, and then you fill the rest out with CG and make it seamless. In addition to the costumes, like, everything in this movie hits: the costumes, the score, the set design, the sound mixing. This movie has the best editing I've seen all year. Like, the editing in this, shout out to Joe Walker. Joe Walker's the editor, and the editing is flawless. The reason why I was so hyped for this, and you guys have heard me talk about this since the inception of the show, was because Denis Villeneuve has not let me down yet. Denis Villeneuve did the impossible. He made a sequel to Blade Runner better than the original. He took an unadaptable book called Dune and made it palatable for somebody like me who hasn't read the book, who doesn't know anything about Dune, who went into this blind because I wanted Denis to whisk me away. And did he whisk me away? Yes. The scope of this thing is evident within the first 3 minutes of the movie, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, despite this only taking place on 3 planets. Uh, Dune Part 2 can't get here fast enough because I know Denis is saying Dune Part 2 is going to be a masterpiece. And I can only imagine, like, whatever Denis Villeneuve does next, I am in for. And hopefully me talking about Dune like this makes you go back and check out the rest of his movies. Go check out Prisoners. Go check out Incendies. Go check out Polytechnique. Go check out Sicario. Go check out Arrival. Go check out Blade Runner 2049. This dude he is what I remember being. The last person I was this passionate about was Nolan. And this guy hasn't had any missteps like Nolan has. Like, he seems to get out of his way. He has his own style, but he also understands when to get out the way. Dune also uses cinematic language perfectly, where they use the educational videos and will cut to other things to let you know this is how it relates to that, or that when it edits to the Atreides chant and pouring the wax, the visual language, even the actors, because the actors are using cinematic language in this, with the look on their faces, their body language, it's all part of telling the story in this movie. The only thing preventing this from being a full masterpiece for me is that it just doesn't have an ending, and I get that because it's only the first half of the book, so it has no ending, but it's still as close to a perfect movie as we can get. And my number one movie of the year is Pig. Pig is what I want more of from cinema, which is give me something new. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small like this movie, because this is a small movie. This is just it's amazing that they made this story about people working through trauma and how that trauma affects them and the world around them, and how if you're not careful, it could destroy everything and everybody. It's Pig is just a beautiful, elegant film from top to bottom. It's perfectly written, perfectly acted. Like, Nicolas Cage should be getting awards burn, and he's not. It's perfectly directed, like perfectly edited. It's just shot well. Like, the reason why I picked Pig over Dune is because Pig has an emotional gut punch at the end that just, it's devastating, even on a second watch. And the second watch is even more rewarding than the first watch, because once you see it the first time, you go in the second time, you see where all the characters are at, and you get why they are the way they are, and it makes it more rewarding that way. I can't say enough about Pig. Pig is on Hulu right now. Pig should be getting more awards love. This is a fantastic first feature. I can't believe this is somebody's first feature.
This is his first feature?
Yeah.
All I gotta say is a bird, a bottle, and a salted baguette.
Yeah, this is man, I love Pig. I just love this movie. I need to own a 4K copy of this movie. So those are my best of the year. That was Jeff's best of the year.
I do not just. What? Go ahead.
We hope that you check a lot of these out, man. That's all I want. I want you guys to go check them out.
I do not disagree with any of your picks, and if I had remembered some of those movies, I would have gone back and added them to mine, especially the Tragedy of Macbeth, which is pretty much, a Macbeth as a, Shakespeare as a horror movie. But yeah, in doing this whole entire show, and thank you for being on the ride with us for this hectic and dangerous year, is that, we kind of expose you to thinking about movies in a different way.
Yes.
And to, we got into this, and we throw shade and we give love just because we love movies. We live for movies, honestly. And we enjoy you taking, we appreciate you taking the ride with us, giving us all the love and all the hate, because if you're hating on us, it means you're listening to us. But yeah, the main thing is we want to talk about movies. We want to share movies. We want to start a conversation about movies because it's it's an American art form. It's
It's
we
one of the
are
last things that we talk about as a community on the internet, in real life, at dinner.
you know like I said before, alone in the dark, we are together. You can sit in uh, a a crowded movie theater in silence, but everybody's feeling the same emotions at the same time, and that's beautiful. You know. Um.
So,
So,
with that, will be
w-
back in like mid-January.
all right.
We're taking.
Also,
Go ahead.
we're coming up on 50 episodes quicker than you would think. So we need you to go through our back catalog and start writing in with your favorite reviews, your favorite lines, your favorite whatever. All right, so we can start putting together our uh, 50th episode celebration with you in mind. So that's your assignment for the next couple of weeks while we take a little vacation. Is
Um,
to do that.
do us a favor. Besides rating and reviewing us on iTunes 5 stars, because we definitely need that badly. Please follow us on Twitter. Like, we need more followers on Twitter, and follow us on Twitter because I'll be doing some giveaways. Jeff's gonna give me some stuff to be doing some giveaways. Mind you, you have to pay for shipping. So think about that before you enter a contest. We're gonna do some giveaways. Um, Also, I think me and Jeff are gonna do a commentary through Twitter Spaces. The movie may be Too Fast, Too Furious. It may be Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It may be both. So definitely follow us on Twitter, because we're gonna be doing a lot during this break on Twitter. Because we still want to interact with you guys, even though the show is just taking a break, just till movies come back. Because we all need a break. Me and Jeff definitely need a break, and then we just the movies are taking a break.
Yeah, but happy holidays and all that other bullshit.
Yeah, happy holidays to whatever you celebrate. Happy New Year. Don't get too fucked up. Please don't die.
Don't get COVID.
Yeah,
Don't get
man.
COVID.
Yeah, man, because the Omicron is rearing its head and shutting shit down again. They shut down Broadway again.
So I just got a news alert that Jagged Little Pill is being closed forever because of COVID.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
I mean, I
well,
didn't even know that Jagged Little Pill was a thing, but okay.
so yeah, that
All
was
right.
episode 32. We'll see you in 2022. Be safe. Happy holidays. Later. We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, aka He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.